Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with the IMP that I got last week from Tracy Phillips. I'd been sitting on it for some time, and I decided I couldn't wait anymore to open it up, so I went ahead and did an unboxing. I was hoping to get some other stuff, but there's been some delivery snafus. Dark Matter, well, Tracy Phillips and Smitty. Yeah, Tracy Phillips is the guy who sent me this along with Ration breakfast ration that will come up later. But I've already got my water on the stove heating up. So what this is, it's a Canadian single meal ration. For those that have never seen these before, it's commonly known as an IMP or individual meal pack, although it does not say that on here. This is a lamb and vegetable stew. It's menu 19. And it was produced, see, this 18 refers to the date 2018. And it's a foil paper lined paper bag. So since there are already a few in here, I'm just going to go ahead and rip into this. So this is what the bag looks like on the inside. Oops, sorry about that. This camera mount is very unstable. But I'm going to go ahead and start pulling things out of the bag. Coffee Crisp. This is a candy bar that is popular up in Canada, but we do not get these down here. So that's a good thing. Some people call this a Canadian mint, but it's actually a compressed towel. This replaces the wet wipe that used to be in these rations. They started putting these in either late 2017 or early 2018. So all you do with these compressed towels after you open them up, you put a few drops of water in it and it will just absorb that water, and you can open it up to be a decent sized wet wipe. So, and can't see it through the label not very well, but it has in its current form, it has a Canadian maple leaf on it. This is the infamous hamburger bun. Although some Canadian IMPs will have tortillas in them. These are in French and English because Canada has two official languages, English and French. Quebec is the French-speaking province of Canada. Sweet and salty almonds. These are vacuum sealed. Two packets of the orange sports drink. I will be opening one and saving the other for another time. Raspberry jam. Don't see that too often. So that will go along with the hamburger bun. And this is the peanut butter. This packet is the same width as the peanut butter that you would get packaged by Ration, but this is wider than the U.S. standard mil spec peanut butter packet. Same color though. This is beef jerky. And for what I've seen by others who have reviewed this, this is extremely hard. Whoa, 2 peanut butters. Now, I don't know if that was an oops on the part of the company that packaged these, or if it was intended. So, only one of them will get used. Have a Nescafe 3-in-1. That will go in my foreignmre.com mug. Frank's Red Hot. It's a hot sauce. Standard book of matches. Tic Tacs. There are 4 of them in here. And then there's a 4th one. It's a beverage bag. The last IMP that I had did not have the beverage bag in it, so that might have been an oops on their part. But I'll be using the glass to mix the drink. And also in 2018, this brown spoon, same color as a spoon, it's old long handle white spoon. And again, the US Emery spork, or the Emery spoon, same color, but it's longer. But I will not be using that because I have the foreignmre.com spork. And it looks like the spork might have chewed into the paper towel. So, yeah, it took a bit of a hit. So maybe they need to think about doing something about that so that the spork does not rip the paper towel. And dessert. This box is always labeled dessert. Sliced apples. I was kind of hoping for a date square, but those will do just fine. And then this is what I've been waiting to get. I was hoping to maybe try to score this one next year, but Phillips hooked me up because he had a second one. This is the lamb vegetable stew. So again, one of these peanut butters will not get used, and the other one will. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open this box. And this the silver Baxter's branded, but it's still Baxter's, but The company name is not so prominent, and so this coffee, and I will also get the cold water to mix the orange drink. So then we'll also open the pears, but I'm going to go ahead and get this in the water first. Back up the pears and mix the drinks. That is the 3-in-1 coffee, and that is the orange drink powder. I'll get the water and I'll be right back. This looks like the color of Tang. I'll put that back there, let it do its thing. I'm going to open up the apples. This is how the old packaging was, but it may still be that way. So at least for the entrees, you won't see this type of packaging anymore. And usually these have a lot of juice with them. Some heat this fruit up. I don't. Oops. There's one piece that didn't want to come out. I don't know how it got stuck down the bottom of the bag, but there we go. This is the sweet and salty almonds, which it looks like a mix of just roasted salted almonds with some that may have been coated with something to give it a sweetness. This beef jerky pouch is going to need a little help. Maybe a little bit more than that. This thing is going to need a little bit more persuasion. I'm not sure some of these pieces actually got sealed into the pouch. Sure seems like it. There we go. There, I got them all out. Sure seemed like that the pieces almost got sealed into the pouch itself. So that is the beef jerky. I've had these coffee crisp bars once before. I wish we would get these down here. So that is the coffee crisp bar. I'm opening up the hamburger bun. And this one might have taken a bit of a hit. Because I'm trying to separate it and it's wanting to fall apart. There we go. So there is the hamburger bun opened up. All right, Eeyore's in the house. James Ortiz is here. I may actually just lay the coffee crisp bar down here on the hamburger bun pouch, just to have it a bit out of the way. Hirschman Hills is here. Thanks for dropping in. Yes, I'm not all of this peanut butter, just because I can. And raspberry jam is something that I had in a ration before, so this will be. I'm just check the chat. Oh, Leah is here. Welcome to all of those who have come in first time. Yeah, Steve's here. This raspberry jam is At first I wanted to run a little bit, so I just slightly changed the position of the bun. But I'm putting the jam on the top bun just so that it can be seen more clearly. For the jam. Now the main should be about done, so I'm going to go ahead and take my water containers back into the kitchen and I am back. I'm just drying this off. Easier to handle. Hey, here it comes. Lot of sauce in that. Wow. Definitely did not have any trouble getting all of that out of there. And here is the lamb stew with oh, I think oh, there we go. I thought it froze up for a second. You're trying to bring it towards the camera. Sorry about that. I got disconnected. I was trying to bring up a bite of the potato and it wasn't showing up. No, the whole thing just went off. But fortunately, I was able to restart it without title and all that nonsense. But creative redundancy is in dropping in another Canadian. The potato is really soft, or that one. Yeah, the potatoes are really, really soft. There's a lot of liquid in here. Just flip the spork. There's a close-up of a potato and one of the peas. The peas are also quite soft, but it's really got good flavor. I almost wish I would have had something else that I can dip this into this gravy instead of just the hamburger bun, but I wanted to have the raspberry ham. So I'm going to take a taste of jam by itself. It's definitely got the right flavor, though it tastes a little, it tastes pretty sweet, but there is that raspberry still in there. I'm going to go ahead and well, this little bit of crumb off the hamburger bun, I'm just going to drop it in there. I'm tasting this orange drink. I don't know if I put a little too much or if it's just that weak, just using it. But it's still okay. Leave it like that. Nescafe 3-in-1, I've had that before. This is a piece of the beef jerky. Well, that piece isn't so hard. Maybe if it gets better and starts to show its age, then it gets a little harder. I just got lucky. But this beef jerky is actually pretty tender. Beef jerky. I thought I would have to drop it in lamb gravy, but nope. Yeah, this glaze on these sweet almonds, got a couple of them stuck together. Like a candied almond. And these are just the plain ones. Roasted. But they're still good almonds. I gotta go back for more of this. This was worth the wait. And again, Tracy Phillips is the one who sent this to me. And I'm very glad he did. That way I don't have to wait till next year to try to get a shot at this. U.S. MRE packers need to step up their game and come up with So whoever for the Canadian IMP lineup, yeah, they scored a winner with this one. Even though the potatoes and the peas are quite soft, there's still lots of flavor. Hidden Numismatist is here. And yes, you get to see my food before I eat it all. So, sorry, Frank. You're not coming out today. Do not need the hot sauce today. It would ruin it, in my opinion. Yeah, the Frank's Red Hot would have been better suited for something like a chili or a pasta dish that needs a little seasoning. But this is just good enough for me. I can definitely taste pepper in this. So they definitely got that right. I'm going to take a drink of the coffee, the Nescafe 3-in-1. I like the Nescafe 3-in-1, but after having tried the G7 that got introduced to me last year, yeah, that will be my camp coffee of choice. But I'll drink any other coffee, and I have some other travel packets of instant coffee, and of course ration coffees. But as far as the 3-in-1, the G7 is really good. Of course, you need something to drink after taking a bite of the peanut butter. Even with the jam, it's still very dry. But yeah, this beef jerky, this is really, really fresh. It's really good. Yep, I wish more countries would put black pepper in their rations. In French rations, you get it. In MRE Nation rations, you get it. In the My Own Meals, when you get the accessory pack along with the entree, you get salt and pepper. You get it with possibly some other commercial rations, and some you don't, but having both salt and pepper. Yeah, if you get the U.S. Halal MRE, that has salt and pepper in it. Why they can't put pepper in the other MREs, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of that piece of apple. It's a lot firmer than the canned apples or pouched apples that we would get here in the US. So I think it's a different type of apple or different variety that's used for these. So it's not super sweet, and the syrup in it is not super sweet. So it's not as soft as you might get when you open up a can of apple pie filling. But it's still very, it's these are really good apples. They got it right with this one. Yes, the apples are good. Yeah, I'll hold up. See, they're slightly lighter in color. Sorry, my phone mount keeps shaking. Sometimes if I just bump the table, then it might shake. Yeah, I'm using a large camp table because the wood TV tray that I was using just got too small for this, and my other table has my microwave on it, and that takes up a good chunk of real estate on that one. So plus it's a metal table, so I don't have to worry about burning wood or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I like about using this, but yet because the nature of its construction, it does lend for some wobbliness on the part of my phone mount, which is already wobbly enough. But it's either use this thing, and by the way, that thing right there is part of the phone mount itself. So I say that in every one of these streams for those who may be coming in for the first time or watching one of these later on for the first time and wondering what the heck that fuzzy thing is. It's just part of the phone mount, and it goes to the jaws that actually hold my phone in place. But so that's one of the drawbacks of using it, is it's shaky, but it's the only way I can do it, because it allows me to see the chat without having to have a second device going, which would require me to turn away from my my camera or phone, and if I try to use a tripod, plus I don't think the audio would be quite as good. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this coffee crisp bar. It kind of looks like a Kit Kat on steroids, but with a hint of coffee flavor in the filling that's in between the wafers. It's not a strong coffee flavor, but it is there. And it's just a good mix to go with that chocolate. I just wish we would get those down here because I've not seen anything like that down here, at least in my area. Now, coffee flavored candy, yeah, I have seen that, but a bar that's actually like that, nope, don't have that down here. I'm just grabbing a couple of the dry roasted almonds and the candied almonds. They do taste good together. You get a little bit more of a crunch from the coating of the candied almonds. But, they're still a good mix. Quality almonds. I'm actually tempted to save this this gravy, put it in a container in my fridge or freezer, and then use it as a flavoring on something else later. To me, it is that good. And it doesn't taste overly fatty or oily. Lamb can be pretty fatty if you get pieces that would normally have a lot of fat in it when it's being cut. Check the chat. Oh, I'm making a CR hungry. I don't know if he's going to be hungry for an IMP or just whatever he happens to have handy. But he said in the past that every time he watches one of my reviews, he gets hungry. Maybe he needs to eat before I go live. I don't know. But I'm glad CR stopped in. I'm just finishing off the little bits that are left. For those that are seeing this tray for the first time, this is one I bought a couple months ago, and I wanted to have a second tray so that I could have one for instance, if I had a lot of different foods to put out, my Tupperware tray only has 3 spots for food and one narrow spot for utensils. And although it's a little bit larger than this one, but not by much, if I don't have a lot of individual spots like this one does, what I put in the main part of it could run together. And if it's something that is sweet and I don't want it to mix with a savory thing, that could get a little weird, but I would still eat it anyway. Or if I have a lot of, say, a dark colored food, then I would use that Tupperware tray, which I've had for well over 30 years. Although this beef jerky does show up pretty good on this green one. And this one I would use for lighter colored foods that could get washed out on the Tupperware tray. Like this, the hamburger bun could get washed out, or the apples could have gotten washed out, at least video wise. But so at least I have 2 options. Or if I want to do a lot of comparisons between a lot of different items at once, I could use both trays at once. I've seen Old Smoky do that with putting 2 trays side by side when comparing an older and a newer version of a particular ration menu, like he did last month. Now this raspberry jam does have actual raspberry seeds in it, so, or bits of raspberry seed, so that I do know it is there. Though it's like strawberry seeds. It has they have the texture of strawberry seed, so I'm not sure what's up with that. And I don't mind, because I would eat the strawberry seeds anyway. But yeah, this jam is pretty good. Going back to this beef jerky. I'm glad I didn't get the rock hard stuff, because then I probably would have been throwing it into this gravy to see if it would soften up a bit. But this is very easy to eat. Well, I think 2 is enough for me. I didn't think I would ever get another tray, but then I thought about how it might work better for some things. So I went and got that one. And when I got this one, it had a very small cup and a small bowl, which are identical except for a little handle on the side makes one a cup and the other one a bowl. It would only hold about half of the amount of liquid that is currently in my glass. So that's how small they are. And that would be fine if you're doing an espresso. But not if you're making a full packet of drink mix. Maybe they might make an appearance for something that's really small. I could use those to put, say, a trail mix in, or a small amount of a snack mix. And these almonds would have fit in one of those, but it would have been very full. So they probably will not make very many appearances on camera. But, of course, this is the exact same tray color and style that Apple Stump Bushcraft Stump and Things has used on his channel when he does reviews. I haven't checked this channel lately to see if he still does reviews, but this is the exact same tray that he had, and when I saw it on eBay, I decided to go for it. Plus, I could take it with me if I was going to a picnic or something like that, and I had to bring my own serving, or something to eat off of, in addition to utensils. Which, up until I started doing ration reviews, I've only done that with my Tupperware tray. But now I've seen a lot more use, so I'll just be switching between both of these. I may use the Tupperware tray next week when I do the My Kind of Chicken that I recently got in the mail. I opened that package up yesterday in the mail call when I opened up this box that had this IMP and the Ration ration. So, because that one will not have as many items in it, because I do not have the Mild Meals accessory pack to go with it. I could have, but I broke up all those other ones from that bunch that CT gave me, and I ate some of the snacks out of them. So I don't have any more of the full accessory kits, and I'd seen those on eBay, but I figured, I think seen enough of those. Sorry about that. As I was saying, about I'm using that more modular operational ration enhancement. I will use that as the meal accessories for the My Kind of Chicken, the Mild Meals entree that I bought by itself on eBay. Plus, I have the filled French toast from the Nene ration that I had not eaten yet, so it's either that or the applesauce from the more that I'll use. See, some no, not beaver jerky. This is beef jerky, not beaver jerky. I don't know who said it was beaver jerky, but yeah, this is beef jerky. And this is pretty good. See, it's flexible. It's not rock hard like some other reviewers have had in IMPs that they reviewed, where the jerky has been super hard. Now, beaver jerky would be interesting. I know another YouTuber up in Canada who probably would do beaver jerky because he eats beaver meat up there. And been watching his channel for a few years, and he does these wild living challenges where he and whoever is with him only eat what he calls wild food, no store-bought food, and he has eaten beavers, so he would probably make beaver jerky. Never had anything gator. Closest to it I've had would be a turtle. And that was many years ago. I would know about shark. Of course, I'm guessing it might depend on the species of shark and what part of the fish the meat would come from. But again, that's just an uneducated guess. Since I live here in Iowa, I'm used to eating freshwater fishes like catfish, crappie, bass, occasionally carp, trout if someone gets it, but my dad caught a drum, 30-pounder, probably sometime in the mid-'80s when I was living down there while I was attending college. And that was the biggest one that anyone down there had ever known of that particular species. But we cooked it and ate it along with the turtle instead of my dad submitting it for a record. Now, last year when I was camping and fishing with family, I did catch a carp, but that fatty was tossed right back into the drink. It was almost as wide as this box. say from the widest part of the body of the fish, like behind that dorsal fin, to the underside of the belly. That's how fat up and down vertically that fish was. And horizontally, that fish was probably almost as wide as this mug. And I thought I had a bigger fish on there because I almost busted the rod that I was using. But I had to have help landing that bugger. I wanted to keep it, but I got overruled, so that's why the fish went back. But that's okay. We had plenty of other fish. Now this summer when we went down there, we were all catching fish, but they're all little ones. My great niece was the only one who caught a keeper. And for 8 years old, she did everything herself except for baiting the hook. She's still a bit squeamish about that. But other than that, she did really good. Thanks for dropping in, Tracy. And again, thanks for sending me this awesome IMP. And the breakfast ration will make an appearance later this month. So that will be at least after, the week after next. That's when I might bust into that. Since next week I will be opening up the My Kind of Chicken. I've never done that with carp. I suppose I don't have a very big pressure cooker. Mine is just a little tiny thing. And in fact, that one would just be barely big enough. It's just big enough to put some of the bigger retort pouches in, like this one that this lamb stew is in, or the ones that you get from British Rations. Yeah, it's just barely big enough to put maybe two on top of each other in that pot. That's how small that pressure cooker is. And the only reason why I own that thing is because I rescue it from the side of the road. So, again, good night to those who are leaving. thanks for dropping in. And I'm glad you all could join me for this this little taste from up north. Carp would be one of those fishes that you either like it or you hate it. But they are fun to catch, though. That there's no dispute about. I mean, if you're just out fishing for fun, get a hold of one of those buggers, they will put up a fight. Yeah, they're speaking of a fish that size. When I lived in Arkansas in the 80s, I heard a lot of the stories about man-sized catfish in Lake Ouachita, which is where my dad caught that monster drum, a 30-pound plus beast that nearly busted his rod. That until I got down there, I'd never heard of that species before, but apparently that one is not known up here in the northern states. But down there, apparently it's a common fish, especially in some of the bigger lakes, like Lake Ouachita. And that is in the county of Garland. Plus, it takes up real estate in 2 other counties. So, it's when that lake was created, so much land area was flooded to make that into a reservoir that it just became that huge. And so, what was left of the old town was simply left in there to serve as a habitat for the fish that would eventually come to live in there. But it has since become a very popular destination for people who want to camp in the area or tour hot springs, which used to be known for its bathhouses back in the day. Now only one working bathhouse is left. The rest have become other businesses. But yeah, there's a whole tourist industry that sprang up around Lake Ouachita. So it's big stuff down there. And to catch these huge fish down there, or at least just to make people think you did, yeah, that's very popular, is to brag on big fish down there. And going back to these apples, these are good apples. I don't know, again, I don't know what variety these are, but on Baxter's chose that. And they don't look or taste like they've been cooked to the point of being a pie filling. Okay, Eeyore, thanks for dropping in. So, I'm glad you liked what I had to show you tonight. I kind of figured that a few might find this enjoyable. I just went and grabbed my kind of chicken. This is it is a certified. I'll put it right there. So this one is not halal certified like the vegetarian ones that I had reviewed, but this should be pretty good. It's got rice and vegetables, and because I got this by itself, this is cold weather or modular operational ration enhancement. But something must have happened during packaging, because this pouch here was actually stuck up here. Can see that little bit of white right here and a little bit of extra writing. Then down here you can see where some of that had been worn off. This was actually stuck to the inside of this bag up here at the top. And then I got this thing right here freed up, but it was actually stuck right here. It had been sealed into the bag when this bag was closed up. But apparently the seal is not all that great, because this afternoon I actually got this freed up so that everything now floats freely in the bag and not stuck where I might damage the item if, trying to open the bag or trying to get it out. But so there's a drink mix, there's applesauce, there's the MRE crackers, there's this spread or soup mix, and then there's the snack crackers, there's a First Strike bar, and that is it. This would be issued in addition to a standard ration if the soldier or other person who would be issued this needed the extra calories because of the type of activity that they're doing. But I got this thinking that, this could be a good accompaniment to this My Kind of Chicken. So this will be next week. Then after that, I will get into the Ration Maple Muffin Top emery, which Tracy also sent me. He said he was sending me a random Ration ration in addition to this Canadian IMP. So the Maple Muffin Top, I don't know if, since I haven't opened the bag, I don't know if there's a ration heater in there or not, but I might actually warm that somehow. I don't know. We'll see when I get to it. But yeah, that's a Maple Muffin Top. So that will come probably 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from today. And I was hoping to have a couple others in, but I don't know what happened to that. And I had already sent the money. So I might have to find some other way to figure out what's going on with that deal. Or if it was sent, I was never informed of when it was sent. It could also be that maybe the package is stolen. But so far, the sender has never responded to any of my messages, which I find kind of odd. But oh, the Maple Muffin Top. Yeah, Pat Miller. So I have had the Maple Muffin Top in something else, but not as the featured item in a ration. So it's cool that Ration is actually creating these breakfast rations. Because the standard issue mil-spec rations, there aren't too many breakfast options within the 24 menu lineup. As far as the meal cold weather, there are a few, there's only 12 menus in that lineup, and I think 5 of those are breakfast ones. So I would only maybe do one of those because all the others have pork in them, and I would not eat those. But yeah, so if Ration doing things like that, that gives more options for people who want to have a ration to take with them wherever, but want to have a breakfast. Or extra items to put together their own rations. And of course, on the Emory Nation site, you can create your own 24-hour ration. Just as a single meal, you can create your own from the list of options that are available. Now, some items that you might be interested in might be out of stock at the time you do it, but who knows, maybe next time you could get lucky. I'm saving my other favorite part of this one for last. This is the coffee crisp. Yes, especially the mains because they're freeze dried. And even though in the MCW there's no oxygen absorber in there, because they're vacuum packed in that kind of a packaging, they should still have a good long shelf life. Now, one channel that I watch, Alaska Prepper, he has gotten a hold of a whole bunch of cases of the MCWs. But what he decided to do was he field stripped them, took them all apart, and he separated the items by type into bins with lids. That way he can cut down on the amount of space required to store all that stuff. And because he's in Alaska, that should increase the shelf life of the other items even more, because it doesn't get quite so hot even during the summer, although they can have hot days. But because they don't have the prolonged heat like we do down here, and that is his way of providing a lot of extra food for his family and others, but in a minimal amount of space. And the bins that he put them in can probably hold, in the like 4 or 5 bins that he used, he can probably hold maybe like 30 cases of those MCWs instead of half a room. That's how much you can cut down as far as storage capacity when you field strip those. You're getting rid of the air that's in the bag, you're getting rid of the outer bag. And you can condense those things in a lot smaller space when you do that. So, and he got these cases from someone who would put them up on Craigslist in his area. So, yeah, whenever he would see someone offering them up on Craigslist and they're close to him, he would go get them and then field strip them. So that way he can store up a lot of food in not quite so much space. And because of the entree dried longer than say something like this main I ate tonight, that was already cooked and still retaining the liquid and the moisture. Of course, not everyone can get away with what he did, but he's taking advantage of the opportunity that's presented to him and his location. So that also saves on shipping costs, because if you wanted to buy, say, a case of Mountain House number 10 cans, a lot of these sites will not ship to Alaska or Hawaii. So if you wanted those, you could only buy on Amazon or eBay or locally, because shipping is either too expensive to bother with, or some of these companies just don't want to bother with it, no matter the cost, to ship up there. So, but since he has viewers from around the world, he will put Amazon links for people to look at stuff, and or he will put the links to individual companies like Augustin Farms or Emergency Essentials, but they will not ship directly to him. So he would have to buy those same items on Amazon or eBay or someplace that will ship to his location, or just buy locally. But he will provide individual site links to people who can get those items shipped to their location. Yes, it would be cool to have a freeze dryer, but in my small apartment, I would have to I would have to get rid of some items that I'll probably eventually get rid of, but then I would have to get another sturdy table to put that on. Plus, I would have to have a dedicated outlet to run that thing. And from what I've seen from some people who have gotten the newer models, you don't have to bother with the frequent oil changes like you do the first generation models. Which are still available, but they're less expensive than the kind where you don't have to do the oil changes, or at least filter the oil that runs through it. But if a group of people go in together on one, and maybe someone is designated as the home of the machine, but yet others who went in on the purchase would still have rights to use it. That would be one way to do it. Or you pay someone who has one for use of it to freeze dry something. That would be another way to go. But for now, my 4-tray dehydrator is what I have. I can expand it up to 7 trays. I haven't bought the additional trays yet. And I also want to buy the screens and the silicone liners for doing things like jerkies or fruit leather or things like that would otherwise fall through the holes. of my trays. I have a Nesco American Harvest dehydrator. It only has one temperature setting. But yeah, it works for me. And the only downside to that one is because it's round, the trays are almost too big to fit in my sink to wash them. And I don't want to put them in the dishwasher because, again, the trays are too wide. And I'm not sure how that really old dishwasher would treat them anyway. So I just don't want to take the chance on it. And I'll just hand wash it when I need to clean the trays and the base. But yeah, it runs at approximately 140 degrees, or at least according to the meat thermometer that I stuck in it. It's got holes around the base and in the lid. So I stuck my meat thermometer in there when it was running, and I saw it get as high as probably like 135, which led me to think that it runs at 140. That would be 140 Fahrenheit for those who may need to do the conversion. And I'm not going to bother with that right now. Someone can listen to this later on and do the conversion themselves if they want. But so far, it's done pretty good. I have done canned beans in it. I have done canned vegetables, but only use parchment as a liner. And a few times I've actually used paper towels. And that seems to work pretty good, but I wouldn't do that for certain things. I've done it with small bits of onion and small bits of celery. Yes, I did dehydrate celery, including the leaves. And but the canned vegetables, I've done that. I've done potato slices. I've done some frozen vegetables that I thawed out. And I've done some fruits. I've done apple. I've done strawberry. I've done my own raisins. I've done pineapple. I've done mango and cantaloupe. Although the mango that I did was pretty ripe and it was pretty soft, so it almost ended up like a fruit leather. So I had that spread out on a piece of parchment. So that's how I did that. Oh, yeah, I have seen some freeze-dried fruits and some dehydrated fruits, which are not in Mylar bags, but then I would repackage them in Mylar with oxygen absorbers. And I've done that with, I've gotten a few bags of, like the freeze-dried yogurt bites that are marketed for toddlers, and I repackaged those. I put those yogurt bites in canning jars with an oxygen absorber and sealed them that way. So that's how I did those yogurt bites. But Yeah, I have not been in a Dollar Tree for quite some time, but next time I do go there, I will look for freeze-dried fruit, and if I do see them, and I have a little bit of a coin to drop for them, I'll buy some, and if I have to repackage them in Mylar with oxygen absorbers, then I'll do that. Only meat that I have dried so far was some pre-cooked seasoned chicken that was given to me, and it was it did not have any fat on it. It was grilled or baked and seasoned and shredded, so, or maybe not shredded, just cut up into smaller pieces. So I dehydrated that and put that in a bag with an oxygen absorber. So I could put that in my camping food bag and have some chicken, but just not have the weight of your normal prepared chicken. Well, JR or JW, you are a little bit late. This is the gravy from this IMP lamb and vegetable stew. Tracy Phillips sent it to me. So this is my dinner. So you'll have to watch it from the beginning. And next week will be my kind of chicken. This will be the 5th in the My Own Meals series, but this one will be with more pack instead of My Own Meals accessory bag, because I got this by itself from a different source than the vegetarian My Own Meals that I have reviewed already. I got those from CT, but this one I bought it on eBay, and this is Cold Weather More Pack 3. So some of these items will be going along with this. So I thought this would be a good alternative. And I would like to find some more of these My Own Meals. I will keep looking for them. So this will be the first one with meat that I have gotten a hold of. So I'm looking forward to getting into that next Sunday. Yeah. Next Saturday, I will be busy for a good share of the day and part of the evening. So I don't know what time I'll get home, because I'll be cleaning up after the meal that will be served, and I will be doing some advanced prep for that on Friday. Well, I'm at the mosque because that's where the meal will be served. But so then a week after next, I will get into that maple muffin top breakfast MRE from MRE Nation that Tracy also sent me when he sent me this. So Asked if he wanted to trade. He said no, he'd just send it to me. This is a second one of these that he had, so he sent that, and he said he would send a random Emery Nation bag. So maple muffin top is what he threw in the box. So in a couple weeks I'll be getting to that. So it won't be the first time I've had breakfast or supper. So I'm still hoping to get some other things to have ready to go in, in January of next year. I was supposed to get a couple more MREs, but something happened there, and I'm going to have to figure out what's up with that. And I was supposed to get another one from somewhere else, but I don't know if the order got left or if it never went through to begin with. When I ordered another couple of items, I got the one item, two of that item instead of just one. But yeah, I'll have to do some digging to find out what happened to that. But yeah, I'll get on that, and I'll find out what happened to the other MREs that I had already paid for but never got. So I don't know if they were never shipped, or they were never sent to the correct address to begin with, or if they got stolen while I was away instead of put into the package box or my mailbox. And because we've had package thefts, I have had to make some changes on deliveries where for shippers other than the Postal Service, I will have them require not only a signature but a photo ID if they will allow that. Otherwise, not to deliver, because I'm not the only one who has had packages stolen. So because this is an unsecured building, I'm not going to take that risk anymore. And I was supposed to get something in the mail yesterday, but either we had no mail service at all yesterday, or the carrier just didn't bring it back out, or I'm not authorized to receive my own mail anymore, or what. I don't know, but yeah, I find that weird, but I'll have to call on that one too, because I was supposed to have that one redelivered yesterday since I wasn't home Friday, and the package box was available. So there's something weird with that. So that's on the Postal Service. But tomorrow I'm getting some stuff delivered, and because I will be home, I will be able to sign for those items. And I'll be doing more mail calls soon, because I still have some more packages to open up. I just wanted to get this one and this one, and the one that I did get from Emery Nation, I opened that one up. But the more I got from Emery Mountain. So I did, yeah. So this one came from Emery Mountain, and so yeah, I did open that one up. Oh dang, those coffee crisp bars are good. I wish we would get those down here in the States. Canadians have got some awesome candies that it's hard to get down here, especially here in Iowa. Now, Old Smoky has been able to get some from a store that sells foreign foods that I have not found here. I can get candies that come from Bosnia or from the Middle East or India or, say, Pakistan or places like that. And I can get some Asian candies, but Canadian, not so much. Not unless a Canadian sends them to me, or I get another IMP. Like the Canadian Smarties are similar to the M&Ms that we have here. I would like to do a comparison video on those. And Old Smoky showed the US Smarties and one that comes from another country. They're known as Rockets. Exact same labeling style, exact same candy type and look. Apparently made by the same company, but just a different brand name on it. So, just like I did a comparison of the two chocolate rations, the Australian and the US chocolate ration bars, and the two Russian apple butters. I did a comparison of two different Russian apple butters. So I wouldn't mind doing a few more things like that. Let's say two different items with the same name or two different sources for the same type of item. I think it's cool doing stuff like that. And of course, I want to get a good mix of ration goodies to do some more mashups. I want to do some more mashups like I did earlier this year. I thought those are fun to do, and I'd like to do some more of those. So I might have to build up enough stuff in order to do that. So for instance, if I have like an extra pack of tortillas, I can do that. Since I got two peanut butters in this IMP, I'm pretty sure the packer made an oops by dropping the extra peanut butter in there. This could make an appearance. I got this orange sports drink, the second one. This could make a future appearance. So I got a good supply of these. And I got another Canadian peanut butter. But yeah, so if I get another mix of items from different countries, I'll do some more mashups. I think it's fun to do those, and I would like to see other reviewers doing that. Old Smoky did one mashup, but yeah, I want to do those again. So hopefully next year I will aim for that. And of course, since I didn't use this hot beverage bag, these get saved. These are gusseted at the bottom. So you fill it up, and it'll stand up on its own. But yeah, I save these. These also make good storage bags if you want to keep something dry. For instance, my cat. I could put the cell phone inside of this and keep it dry. See, that's one thing you can use these bags for, is to keep something dry. So, yeah, that's why I save these bags. Because you never know when you may need something like this with this capacity. Yeah, I just thought I'd show another use for that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and this is my Nescafe 3-in-1. And as I said earlier, I like the Nescafe 3-in-1, but since I got introduced to the G7, which is found in Asian stores, and I bought a pack of that earlier this year so that I could have more camp coffee, even though I have a bunch of the plain coffee sticks that are similar to the little drink packets. See, this is a G7 3-in-1, but of course I have a bunch more of just the plain coffee sticks that are about like this. This is a Great Value Walmart brand drink mix, but I have the Folgers and Taster's Choice and a couple other brands of the coffee that are in little packets like this. But this G7 3-in-1, since I got introduced to that last year, earlier this year, I decided to go buy some. And so I have a bag of 20. It's a different shade packet than this is, but it's still the same thing. So yeah, I've got enough coffee to last me a while. Of course, my stash of Ration coffees, I don't think I'll be hurting for coffee for a little while. But who knows? I might even throw one of those G7 coffees into one of my videos one of these days. Or I might do a direct comparison between the G7 and the Nescafe 3-in-1. So next time I get one of those, the Nescafe 3-in-1, then I'll do that. So that will happen sometime next year. You can also buy the G7 online, probably on Amazon or eBay. I don't know if Walmart sells it. But yeah, I went to a local Asian store that's not too far from, I mean, not the one that's closest to me, but I went to another store that is near one of the bus stops that I occasionally get out at. And I was in the area, so I figured I'm going to go in there and get me a bag of the G7 since I only had like one packet left. And then at the YouTuber meetup, I was given like 7 more. So I was drinking those instead of the Folgers that I had, the Folgers coffee singles, which are like tea bags but with coffee in them. Regular Folgers ground coffee in a tea bag form. So I had been using those as my main camp coffee, but I was going back to the G7s. But because I like creamer and sugar in my coffee, that's just one step. Instead of opening up the sugar packet and the creamer packet, or using a liquid creamer. But some people who don't like sugar and or creamer in their coffee would not like what some ration packers are doing. Like in some British rations, you get 3-in-1 coffee and 3-in-1 tea. Others you don't. So it could be hit or miss when you're buying British rations. And it could be the same with these IMPs, whether you get the 3-in-1 coffee or you get the espresso roast, which used to be the main coffee in there. And you might get a packet of sugar, but not always a creamer. At least I've never seen an IMP with creamer in it. But the 3-in-1, some people may not like to have their coffee like that. But for those of us who do, yeah, it's quick and easy. But yeah, I'll definitely do a comparison between the G7 and Nescafe 3-in-1 next time I get one of those. So that might be as part of a meal. If I get another IMP with a Nescafe 3-in-1, I'll grab a G7 and I may mix that up instead of the sports drink. Or I may have 3 drinks going. Or I just may get a G7 and have that with this, since I will not have a hot drink, as I did when I had the accessory packs for the vegetarian mild meals that I've already done. As I said earlier, I broke up all of those other accessory packs, and some of the snacks, I went ahead and ate those since they had gone past their best by date. But the Cheerios cereal, I repackaged those into Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. That way, if I need a breakfast cereal in a pinch, if I can't make a hot breakfast, or if I am giving breakfast to several people at once, I can just bust open that bag and serve it out that way. So that, and plus, since I store food for emergency use, that became part of my food storage. The pineapple, the dried pineapple, that's still very, very good. I went ahead and repackaged that to add to my supply of fruit. But yes, for the most part, I ate the pita chips. Some had gone stale already. Some were still pretty decent. I ate the peanuts and the sunflower seeds. But again, with those accessory packs, the sunflower seeds, the peanuts, and the pineapple make a great trail mix. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you all. But yeah, I might grab a G7 to have with this next week, just so you can see what that is like. But anything else that you want to ask, or oh yeah, Mexican market. Yeah, we have one that's not too far from where I live called La Tapatía. I have not gone in there very often, but there is another one, a smaller one that I've gone into a few times that I have bought a few things from. But yeah, I do want to go back into La Tapatía because it's a good sized store. And, I can comfortably speak Spanish with the other people in there. And that, when I go into a place like that, yeah, I will speak Spanish instead of English. Even though they do cater to people who may not speak Spanish, but who may like the ingredients that are there, because I have studied Spanish, I want to use it. So I go into a place like that, I will switch to Spanish because I just feel like it. I think next time I make that, I'll use less water and see if that improves the flavor of it. But yeah, I think this is the first time I've had the Canadian orange. So it's not bad. It's not as obnoxiously artificial tasting as some of the U.S. orange drink mixes, and it's clear, as you can see. It's not cloudy like Tang is, although it smelled like it when I first opened this up to dump the powder into the glass. Now this calls for 250 mils of water, so which is close to 8 ounces or one cup measured. So this probably holds maybe 300 mils, maybe 350. So I probably went a little heavy on the water, but still, it's a nice, there's not as much of the artificial color either. So yeah, I don't like all that artificial color, but if that's what I have to drink, I'll drink it. Especially if, since this is, it's like a Gatorade or Powerade powder or some other sports drink, because it replaces what you would lose after some heavy activity. If you look at I got shadows here, but this gives back some of those things that you would lose through sweating or physical activity. It's like other electrolyte or carbohydrate drinks or something like that. Yeah. I mean, these are still good to have. And I think it's cool that in a Canadian ration you get 2 of these, or you're supposed to, unless someone messes up. Like someone opened an IMP and there was only 1 drink packet in there. But yeah, I opened this one, there's 2 peanut butters. Oh well, weird things happen, I guess, on the packing line. But is there anything else anyone wants to ask about, or what else may be going on? Or you'll just wait to see what I come up with tomorrow, because when stuff comes in tomorrow, hopefully I will get some of the other things that I was supposed to get last week, but didn't because of some shipping changes that I have had to make in order to avoid package theft, or because someone just didn't get it back out. Like I was told that one package that I was supposed to get, that was originally going to be delivered Friday, was not, and I was told that yesterday it would be delivered, but the package box was left empty. I could tell because the key was still in it. So I'm guessing the postal carrier either decided not to bring it back out, or decided not to put it in the package box, and I did not get a notice that a delivery attempt was made. I only saw that through tracking. So that's one good thing about online tracking. You can find out the status of something, but it's still nice to get that actual notice. But anyway, if there's anything else, if not anything else that anyone wants to yap about, I'll go ahead and call this one done. Yeah, I've been over 2 hours already, so. But I showed a few other things that are coming up, and more things to come. And I'll hand this one off to YouTube. Let them do their thing with it. Again, thank you all for watching. Thanks for hitting a like. And so come back next week and join me for My Kind of Chicken. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.